Recently you may have read we did a tender offer to our shareholders. We've now repurchased over $1 billion of stock from our shareholders. That's something that's important to us, quite frankly, because it is not an immediate term priority to go public. In the United States, trying to go public with a very hostile regulator that has to approve your S1, that doesn't sound like a lot of fun to me. Coinbase obviously had their S1 approved, and now the SEC is suing them for doing things that was outlined in their S1. Now, that, as I mentioned, there's a hearing tomorrow in the U.S. about some of that, but I think it's indicative of why would we want to subject ourselves to an SEC that is openly hostile to this?
The other ETFs, for sure.
An XRP one?
There will be other ETFs, for sure.
but an XRP one?
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And if you're not a part of the Patreons, guys, make sure you're hitting the cash out. Now we have Garlinghouse hints that our IPO is coming soon. And we know Ripple is embedded in the emerging markets. They can care less about the United States because we know America to Babylon is crumbling. We had Larry Fink, Drunken Miller, Blackstone tell us it's going to be 7 to 10 years inside the United States with no growth. And we know why, guys. We're going to be losing that world reserve currency. It's already gone. It's just the Fed is holding things up. The Brics nations are about to rise, led by China and the Belt and Road with that digital yuan backed by that digital SDR. And of course, they need someone to use it. And that's the reason why XRP and XLM are going to be so important. And then we had Brad Garlinghouse talk about an XRP ETF. I don't see that happening, but I definitely see a Ripple IPO. And then we have Mark Yusko speaking about Bitcoin volatility. And if we have these trillion-dollar asset firms buying Bitcoin, we know it's going to take volatility out because they're actually purchasing the asset. And guys, we know Bitcoin and crypto. Crypto means hidden message, hidden meaning. These cryptos are for the machines. And again, we run into a government shutdown. And guys, I can't wait until 2025. Make sure you enjoy this year. Yes, 2024 is a presidential year. It's going to be very entertaining. Of course, we're going to get a lot of distractions, main events. But 2025, the sheep are going to be hit with something that's going to wake them up. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And that's the reason why Davos wants to control the information. They have to control the narrative because we know the NWO are the master magicians. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. Y'all have a wonderful day.
It happens to be the best performing asset in 12 of the last 15 years. Of the 15 years it's been around. In fact, BlackRock actually put out a chart today showing that it's been the best performing asset in 12 of its 15 years of existence. So it's got a good return. Therefore, you should own a little bit of it.
Kill Bitcoin's volatility?
Well, it certainly will reduce volatility, but that's the nature of growing up, right? It's the law of large numbers. When Bitcoin was very small, and basically a science project. I mean, 15 years ago, when Hal Finney, 15 years ago yesterday, when Hal Finney, did the basic tweet running Bitcoin, the price was 0.00013 or something like that. I mean, the price was zero, and any movement was incredible volatility, just the law of small numbers. And then volatility was really high, and that was great. When it went from $1 to $10. That was a miracle, right? That was the miracle that we got to a real number that people could actually be attracted to and buy was the miracle. Whether we go from $1,000 to $10,000 or $10,000 to $100,000 or $100,000 to $1 million, that's not the miracle, right? Because those are smaller percentage increases than that original increase from 0.0001 cent to $10. And so, yes, volatility will trend down, as do all assets. as they grow. That's what we want, right? This idea that we some small horde of people want to have all the volatility to ourselves, that's not what this was invented for. Right? This was invented to solve a problem, which was dual entry accounting being corruptible, and replace trust with truth, to bust the monopoly of the banking cabal that has been existed, or I shouldn't say cabal, cartel, that's been around for 838 years. And so I get it that lower volatility, boring, I can't day trade it as much. So be it. It wasn't invented for day trading. It was invented to solve money. That's what it was invented, to allow you and I to exchange value without asking permission.
And the House is canceling votes tonight due to inclement weather, just days ahead of a deadline to avoid a government shutdown. Congressional leaders agreed to a deal, but they still need to pass a short-term funding bill before time runs out on Friday. ABC's Jay O'Brien joins me now from Capitol Hill with more. Jay, what's in this spending bill and when could it pass?
And Diane, as you said, the House out today, so it's really all on the Senate. There is a procedural vote in the Senate tonight on that temporary stopgap funding measure, that deal that was reached over the weekend. This is a temporary funding measure.
One of the most crucial intervention points is how we surface authentic, trusted sources of information. And you're absolutely right that the media has a critical role in this. Some of the tech companies do. If you're a search engine or a social media platform, I think it is your duty to help surface the trusted sources of information. But we spend a lot of time with election officials, helping them understand how to navigate this new normal and how to boost the trusted place to go to for your polling information. How do they rapidly respond when there are mis or disinformation campaigns going on in their jurisdiction?
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go, but clearly we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and you know, when the dealers have to step in to save a Treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the new World Order book, plus the 3 kids books, It's Time to Re-Educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Xrp, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID 33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.